Mamod is a British toy manufacturer specialising in live steam models. They were founded way back in 1937 in Birmingham by a guy named Geoffrey Malins. In 1976 they produced the first steam-propelled Roadster, the SA1 model. The original model came out with a vaporising spirit burner, meths normally, but this was replaced in late 77, early 78 to the much safer wax tablet solid fuel form. Now, I think it's safe to say that if you was a boy or a young teenager growing up in the UK in the 1950s, 60s or 70s, then it might have been possible that you might have had one of these very small static steam engines yourself. They were a little bit expensive, but if you had a rich sort of, uncle or aunt, you might have had even one of these bigger models. And you know what? It's amazing to look back at this sort of golden time, the time before any sort of health and safety or anything like that. Give a young sort of teenager a bottle of meths and some sort of matches nowadays, and instead of sort of using it to fire up his sort of steam model, he's most likely to take it round his mates and drink it. No, it really was a sort of golden time, when boys were sort of boys, and well, I guess girls were girls, because these adverts are clearly aimed at sort of, young sort of boys, young teenagers, and it seems that the girls were sort of quite left out. I think they sort of made to do with their Barbie dolls and Cindy's and things like that. Now, while searching for these wonderful pictures of adverts, this led me to a website, mikessteamengines.co.uk, and if you're interested in this stuff, you want to sort of give this website a look, because it's a wonderful place to spend an hour of pure nostalgia looking back at all of the things that you might remember when you was a young boy. And do you know what? This could be the end of the video, and I could simply say, get yourself over to eBay, try and sort of, bid on and buy yourself a well-preserved sort of model from back in the day, and have some fun. But no, this is not the end of the video, because Mamod are still in business. It's absolutely amazing, but they are still in business and still selling all of these models in the present day in 2019. And there's even a website called Mamodonline where you can buy the whole range of these wonderful metal and brass models, just the same ones that were available back in the day. They still make the traditional steam rollers and steam tractors, and also a complete range of static steam engines. And then finally comes the model that I'm most interested in, which was the self-propelled steam Roadster, and also the other models that were developed from that, such as a fire engine, a van, a limousine, and things like that. And then finally they do a limited range of self-construction kits where you can sit down and build one of these models yourself. You do save a little bit of money. It's not really about saving the money, it's just having the pleasure of actually sort of building a model with your own hands. Now, it might be that you have one of these models back from the day that perhaps needs some spare parts, and there's a complete range of spare parts that you can sort of fix up your model, or perhaps you want to buy one off eBay that needs a little bit of TLC. Well, there again, there's a complete range of parts that you can pretty much restore any model back to new condition. As for myself, well, I fancied sitting down and building the thing, so I bought one of these little Roadster construction kits. And I had a thoroughly enjoyable time over 2 days. It took about 3 hours from start to finish to build the model. It comes with written instructions. They can be a little bit challenging. It's a little bit like going back to the 1970s. But if you can work with your hands, absolutely fantastic, really enjoyable. But of course, you can buy the Roadster completely made up in a range of different colours. Costs about £25 more if it's made up, but then of course it's ready to run. If you're interested in watching me build this Roadster in a lot more detail and a lot more time, then I did do a small series of videos over on my sister channel, Fred in the Shed 2, where you can watch the Roadster's construction from the very start till the very end, and also a detailed first steam. What I will do is at the end of this video, I will leave a couple of pop-up video suggestions for those videos over at Fred 2. And while you're over there, well, stay and have a look round. There's lots of other sort of boys stuff on there, a little bit of sort of car maintenance, things like that, things that you may have not seen before. And if you like what you see, please consider giving me a sub over on that channel. I would most appreciate that. Anyway, back to my Mamod Brooklands Roadster. And here we can sort of see it completely finished. It came with a pack of wax paraffin tablets to run it and also some oil as well. So you've pretty much got everything for that first sort of steam. And overall, I was very, very impressed. This thing is quite heavy. As you can see, it's sort of quite big. It's over 30 centimetres long. And it's just so refreshing to be able to buy something nowadays, not only because it was how I remember it back in the day. My friend was fortunate enough to have one of these. I remember playing with it as a young teenager, and this is exactly the same, exactly how I remember it. But you know, there is nothing really plastic on the model other than maybe the sort of, and to say that they just don't make anything like this anymore, well, that's not actually true, because of course they do, but it's just something you don't see anymore in this sort of modern world that we live in, where everything is disposable and sort of throwaway. You know, this model will last for years and years and years. Anyway, here's a little bit of video when I very first started it up, and I will shut up for once and we can actually hear it running. And you know what, I tell you, once it got its full head of steam, it ran pretty fast across the patio. I was having a job at times to try and keep up with it, to adjust the steering. So there you go, it's the Brooklands Mamod Steam Roaster, an absolutely fantastic kind of boy's toy. Something you just don't expect to be made anymore, but it is. Right, okay, that's it. I'm going to bring this one to a close. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your view time. It's always most welcome. And look out for those little video cards that are going to pop up any second on this video, because they will take you over to Fred in the Shed 2, where you can see more on the build of this Roadster and also its initial first steam up and first run. But it just for now for me to say, as always, cheers, thanks for watching, stay safe, and of course, I'll catch you all on the next one.